Hi, okay, welcome to Book Chat. Today's book is one of my very favorites. It's very special to me. It's Jack. I have a hard time titling this series because I have a series title that belongs on each of the books. I'm calling them Ballads from the Hearth. And the reason that I'm calling them that is that what I'm doing... Oh, this one's damaged. I'll have to offer this one. Anywho, what I'm doing is I'm taking the ballads that my father used to sing and I'm turning them into novels because the stories are so rich and so beautiful and they have such deep meaning to me that I really wanted to do that. I really kind of wanted to share some of what he did for me. And Jack was the first one. The song that Jack is inspired by, it's an old cowboy ballad called Cowboy Jack. And so when I titled this series, I've decided that they're all going to be Ballads from the Hearth and then a name. So I think the next one is Mary, and there'll be Jethro and Maggie, and I'm not sure, I don't know what I'll do, probably Bess. It'll probably be Bess for Bonnie Black Bess. But anywho, this book, Jack, is about Cowboy Jack. And I didn't know all these details about him because when I was a child, the song pretty much goes like this. Lonely cowboy meets pretty girl with blue eyes. They fall in love. They plan to get married. They have a fight. He rides away. She pines for him on the prairie. He feels guilty. He decides to come back because it was all his fault. He comes back. She's dead. Most of Dad's songs are rather tragic and heartbreaking, and Cowboy Jack is no exception. I didn't want to write that story. I'm not Nicholas Sparks. I say this often about it, but I'm not Nicholas Sparks, and I didn't want a tragic ending, okay? This isn't message in the bottle on the prairie, okay? I did not want to do that. So I really thought about it. It's like, how can I do this? And for those who are familiar with Shakespeare, I have taglined this a lot of hullabaloo on the prairie. And if you don't know the story, maybe you should read it because it would really help with this. This book also has, so it has Much Ado About Nothing in it. It has Cowboy Jack, you know, the song. And then it also has a nod to Marty Robbins, who wrote Mr. Shorty. So the character of Mr. Shorty in Marty Robbins' ballad, I'll try to link down there if I can find it somewhere. But Marty Robbins' ballad is in there. There's a nod to him because I've always really rather admired the man in the song who meets Mr. Shorty. And so I kind of gave a nod to him. And then, as far as the cover, obviously, if he's Cowboy Jack, it needed to look very Western. And I think I did a fine job of that. I mean, how much more Western can you get than old and dead-looking and a silhouette of a guy on a horse, right? What I am most proud of on this book, as far as the cover goes, is the back. I hope it shows. I'm going to turn it just a little bit because I have no idea what the light is doing to it. But there's the back. Isn't that beautiful? I wonder if I can... I think if I bring it closer, it's going to blur. I'll try to take a picture maybe and insert it into the videos. But anywho, I really rather liked the back of this book. I'm probably going to do it with the rest. So anywho, but Jack is the first in the Ballads from the Hearth. There will be quite a few of them, at least 5. But they are not connected in any way. Mary is from the song Blind Child's Prayer, and I have found a way around the tragedy of that one too. I'm not going to take away the tragedy, but I have found a way to make it bearable and give a whole lot of hope and healing from that song. And then Jethro is from Tramp's Heaven. I have just created a cover idea for it. I don't even have Mary yet. I can't wait to tell you about that one because there's really cool news about Mary. But Jethro, it takes place in the 30s, and I'm not quite sure what state it's going to be yet. I need to find some, really do some serious historical research to get it right. But in Tramp's Heaven, there's just a man who, you know, in the 30s there were a lot of hobos or tramps, or there were homeless transients who just wandered around, you know, getting work where they could, just, you know, riding the trains. And I have one in here, and he ends up as a part of a murder investigation, and his only alibi is a blind boy. And so that's going to get rather interesting. And then Maggie, because of the letters, we have Jack and Mary, because Mary's the name of the woman in the Blind Child's Prayer. So we had J and M, and I really wanted to name the Triumph Jethro. And so then I would have had a JJ, and if I did California Joe, J, and then this M, and I was like, So instead I decided on California Joe, I'll do Maggie, because that's the other character's name. So, you know, let's show it from her perspective, which I had never intended to do. So we're going to get a lot more of her perspective than I intended. So anywho, these are the Ballads from the Hearth. This is the first one. It's Jack. It's a Western that takes place in approximately 1880. It begins in Kansas City during cattle drive times, and they go back to a fictional town of Riverton, I think I named it. You would think I would have remember my own thing, but Riverton, North Dakota. I think it's just called the Dakota Territory, but I'm pretty sure I said it in North. And then the names in here, for those who are familiar with Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, I have, he's Jack Clausen. Hazel, instead of Hero, Hazel is Hazel Meissner, instead of Messina. And then you have, instead of Benedict and Beatrice, you have Dirk and Deborah. And I'm just gonna leave it off of there and let you see it. But yeah, Jack, he was just a lonely cowboy. And yeah, his sweetheart waits for him. Have a good day. Your sweetheart waits for you, Jack. Your sweetheart waits for you out on the lonely prairie where skies are